This is Elisa Balsamo and you are listening to the Will Toll podcast. Today's Giro d'Italia Stage 7 from Fermignano to Monte Nerone.
Holy cow. Loren, that was amazing.
I've been trying to think about really smart one-liners because I'm not Gracie Alvin, and the best I came up was that was a performance on the Queen stage. Gigantic.
Yeah. Gigantic. Ginormous.
Yeah, I got you. Ezra, you're back with us for a second episode. Hello.
Hey. That was a really nice stage to watch. Really, really interesting tactics, really interesting outcome, I think, as well. So, yeah, super cool.
Yeah, so we had the 7th stage of Giro d'Italia, the Queen stage, finishing on Monte Nerone, but there was also a handful of climbs leading up to it, and most importantly, perhaps, an uncategorized climb right at the base of Monte Nerone, the 14-kilometer climb to the finish. Attacks went early in the stage, and there was a lot of teams hoping to be up the road. Shirin van Anrooy was kind of the last rider out, but the action was really happening behind. We had not really an attack from UAE Team ADQ. Elisa Longoborghini and Silvia Persico went on the descent from that climb right before Monte Nerone, and they found themselves with a gap along with Liana Lippert, and then they sent it. Persico did a monster turn on the front for about 10 kilometers to get a gap, and then pulled off, took a foot out of her pedal because she was so done at that point. Longoborghini took over. Lippert went back to the group behind. Longoborghini went forward and tried to go for the stage. She caught up with Shirin and passed Shirin. Behind, we had an attack from Sarah Gigante. Sarah Gigante went up to Longoborghini, caught Longoborghini, went past her, won the stage. Longoborghini got second on the stage, took the pink jersey by 22 seconds. Isabella Holmgren took third on the stage, and Reusser took fourth on the stage, but lost the pink jersey. And it was just, there was so much happening from AG Insurance-Soudal's pressure that they put on the race, starting from the uncategorized climb to UAE's kind of like, okay, well, let's just roll with this. And the changing of the pink jersey going into the final stage, you could not script it.
That's correct. Yeah. I think it started already off with the attack with Shirin van Anrooy in it, and the gap that they gave her. I was like, I wouldn't give her so much time. Okay, it's a really long stage, and she was already early in the break, and only with 2 other girls. So, yeah, for sure she will have a harder time getting up the final climb. But yeah, I thought that already interesting from Movistar and from Longoborghini. But then, yeah, with that attack with Persico and Elisa, I was like, ooh, this is dangerous. You can't give this too much time. And yeah, I was surprised that Movistar didn't close it immediately, actually, because, yeah, you could see that this was really like Fugas and, yeah, a really important moment in the race.
Yeah, and I think the way that Elisa does climb and likes to climb these bigger climbs is she does go into that time trial mode and just puts down the big watts. And that's why when, she needed that buffer to someone like Gigante if she wasn't going to have any attempt at the stage, because I think, Gigante is just a pure climber. And when she does pop like she did and what we saw, it's very hard to follow. There's very few riders in the world that can do that sort of acceleration when it's been so hard. So when Elisa went into that time trial mode, I was like, okay, this is looking good. And actually the gap went out to a minute at one point. And I thought, oh, this is dangerous now. And then I was waiting for Rusa. She had the support of her teammates, but, to really take over and then go into her time trial mode, which is also how she likes to climb, right? Like basically ride people off her wheel. But it was a really tough stage. And I think, we've been waiting to see how someone like Marlen Rusa would go on such a hard stage. And yeah, for whatever reason, she just didn't quite have the legs to reduce that gap to Elisa. So in the end, I think it worked out for UAE, but I'm sure there was a moment where they were like, oh, like when they were just dangling off the front of that bunch, are they wasting energy here? But it worked out in the end in terms of the yellow, always say the yellow, the peace jersey.
Yeah, there was that really long stretch of time where they only really had 20 to 30 seconds where it looked like a doomed move. It looked like Reusser still had multiple teammates with her in that group. It looked just like, what are you doing? Should they pull the plug? But they really just kept going. And I said yesterday that they were so evenly matched. Well, they were still evenly matched. It just so happened that Longoborghini got a head start on the climb, and then they rode a similar enough pace, and Reusser went harder in the final bit of the climb because Longoborghini had more time going into the kind of second section of the climb, and Reusser brought that gap back down to only 22 seconds in the end. But man, like the tactics were just insane to the point of being brilliant. And obviously not planned out, but also for Movistar behind, when they had Lippert up the road, it was kind of like okay, what do you do here? Like, do you leave Lippert out there and say, all right, you can be like a satellite rider and maybe Marlon can ride up to Lippert and then she has a teammate? Or like, should they have just sent Liana back to the group way sooner? Because by the time it was like, okay, this is actually really dangerous, Reusser was pretty much out of teammates, and quickly out of teammates after it was clear that Longoborghini was going to be able to sustain the pace.
Yeah, I think when you're so close in the klassement, we had this morning, it was only 16 seconds. If you see your biggest rival for this day, then like I would say always like you need to be immediately on the wheel and not have this take the risk of losing it. Marlon was struggling a little bit, and that's why she didn't take her responsibility. In the end, she did, but still, I think it's really impressive what she's doing on such a hard climb for this rider, and also for her actually like aiming for GCs for the first time. I think she's doing a really good job. But yeah, if it's 22 seconds, I think like she would a little bit like slap her face like shit, I need to be on the wheel all the time and not let her go.
And that's kind of what we saw from Elisa the last couple of days. Every single time Reusser did anything, Elisa was on her wheel. She never, ever, ever was anywhere but on her wheel. And that was a mistake that was made today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, and from Sarah Gigante, I think it's a really like super impressive what she did. I think she's really like lucky that there are mountaintop finishes in this Giro, so she can end up in the klassement in a really like high. I think she's now third. So I think that's good for her. I quickly looked to the Tour de France because I was like, we go there for GC too. So I'm curious how this will end up. But luckily for us, we have a little bit more downhill finishes. So there.
Yeah, less mountaintop finishes. And actually, we have an audio diary from Sarah. So I'm really excited that the 2 stages I picked for her for audio diaries, she won.
Hello, everyone at Escape Collective. Abby, you sure did pick the right stages because today was another incredible day. Yeah, we won the Queen stage today, which was pretty cool. But actually, our main goal for the race was to move up onto the podium in GC, and we achieved it. So now I'm sitting in 3rd place overall. Ushka's also top 10. She had a wonderful ride, but so did every single one of my teammates. They were absolutely brilliant. It was really masterclass by the team. They all put in 110%. We were all so committed to the plan, and they really believed in me, which was, just so special. All the staff were amazing too. We had probably the most people feeding us out of all the teams. There was always a point to fuel and drink, and we were really looked after. The bikes were wonderful. Yeah, everything went perfectly. So I think we can be super happy with today. I'm also happy with my descending. I mean, of course, I'm not attacking off the front like Elisa on the last descent, But yeah, I think I'm improving. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, also my climbing was good. That's nice to know. Yeah, so basically Elisa was off the front. Also Shirin and Liana Lippert on the last climb. They had quite a big gap. They got out of sight. I was pretty surprised that Movistar didn't chase them down in the valley before the climb. But yeah, with my team setting a really hard pace, they were amazing. And then Movistar also helped. The gap was, I guess, within touching distance, but it still looked pretty big. I was waiting for Marlon to go, but when her domestiques finished, then she didn't go. So Laura De Skepper, my teammate, came back to the front, put in one last dig for me. Amazing ride by her, as always. She's incredible. And then I could take the chance myself and attack on one of the steep hairpins. I got away from that group with the other contenders for third place on GC. Went solo, came across to Shirin and then to Elisa. And then after a little flat part, I had a little break on Elisa's wheel for that part, and then I decided to go to the end solo. It was very difficult in the last kilometre. I think that's the first time I've really wanted a climb to be over ASAP. Normally I like when climbs are longer and longer and longer and harder. That's better, but this time I was like, nah, that's enough. I prefer to be at the finish line now, thanks. So actually I was very happy because my stem notes, which are normally really accurate, they said 150k, but I finished at 148.8 and it was, pure relief to finish a bit earlier. But I really can't thank my team enough for today, all the week, but today they were really amazing. So thank you to everyone. And tomorrow's going to be a really tough day on the Imola Worlds circuit, or a similar circuit back from 2020 Worlds. I already drove it a couple of days ago when we stayed in the area with my DSs. Yeah, it's always up and down, lots of steep climbs and steep descents, but we'll give it our best shot. And yes, bring it on. The only downside to today was about 30 minutes into the race, I was enjoying myself. Like, this is going well. And then I remembered that I had forgotten to pick a rider in the Escape Collective Tour de France Fantasy competition. It was really, really sad for a good 20 minutes. I even considered asking Stein on the radio to log in to my phone, open the app, pick a rider. But then I thought, if he can't even understand me because I talk too quickly and mumble and speak with an Australian accent, if he can't even understand me when I ask, what's the gap to the breakaway, or, I don't know, Sarah needs water, then how on earth is he going to understand that he has to log into the fantasy app and pick a rider? So I decided against it. Then I forgot about it. I was happy after we won the stage, happy at presentations. And then I remembered in anti-doping again. I was sad again. So, highs and lows of the day, but it was a pretty good low. And, I also managed to open the champagne bottle better today. So, a couple big improvements. Amazing teamwork. And, excited, a bit nervous for tomorrow, but mainly excited and just so proud of the way we've raced together. And, really happy with this week, no matter what happens tomorrow, honestly. Like, if you told me I'd have a week like this, even 1 week ago, let alone 6 months ago when I wasn't even riding, then I would hardly believe you. So, yes, very happy. And, we're not at 8 minutes, but 5 minutes is a pretty long audio diary. So, hopefully you listened to it all and enjoyed it. See you.
A really special treat. We actually weren't supposed to have an audio diary from Brodie today, but the day went so well that she wanted to send one. So, huge appreciation to Brodie for taking the time, and let's hear from her.
So I'm not on audio diaries for today, but I can't help but leave an audio diary because today our team took the pink jersey with Elisa Longoborghini after a lot of commitment from everybody. So the start of the stage, it was just up and down all day. And honestly, so Eleonora Gasparini, she's on my team. She is like the energizer, like she was literally on the front or at the front with Elisa all day. I don't know how she does it, but she's just like a little salmon. She's so calm, so controlled. And she honestly was there all day, like until the very last climb. So I just have to give her a shout out. You guys have to keep an eye on her. She kind of reminds me of like a rider that can do everything. I honestly think she could be a Marianne Vos. And then, it was interesting because before the final descent, we hadn't actually like planned to do this or anything, but we just said to each other, like, do you want to take the front of the descent? Nico, our DS, said, do you want to take the descent just to keep the pressure on and be in a good position at the front because we don't want to follow AG down the descent. And as soon as there was a little split, Gasparini and Magnaldi just kind of caused a gap on purpose. And then it was all up to Silvia Persico having the absolute ride of her life. It was a bold and risky move because it was a really long climb. Also, in the beginning, a bit of headwind, then turned into tailwind, which is always good. So, yeah, I'm just in absolute sheer shock of how well the team rode today, especially, those little trio of Italians. But, I mean, we also had Helena Amalusic just like patrolling from the very start, and she was getting biddens for everybody. Erica and I were just hanging around Elisa as much as possible today to box on her wheel and make sure that we were there if something happened. But yeah, now we have a really big job in front of us. You cannot underestimate Marlon Rosa. She's known for her attacks. And so we really have to be onto it. And another pretty incredible win by Sarah Gigante today. Her team did a really good job. They actually took a bit more responsibility, I think, than Movistar, to be fair, for the breakaway and also to pace the climbs. So big hats off to them for a really big team commitment. I think it was just overall made the stage really exciting. It was pretty funny. I was talking to one of my friends in the peloton and just how like we all argue in the peloton and yell at each other and swear at each other and have little fights. And it's so funny because in the race we're all enemies. And then, afterwards you might laugh about it with somebody, but there's no loyalties except for your own team when it comes to racing, which is everyone has a bit of a story about that. Yeah, just got back to a hotel and the girls went straight for the Parmigiano, literally eating it straight. And that's very Italian of them. But yeah, tomorrow will be the big showdown.
I think other mentions today, honourable mentions, would be for the young rider Isabella Holmgren, because to come third on the Queen stage of the Giro is a very impressive ride. And we were talking about young riders yesterday, and she is so young. And, Antonia Niedermeyer coming in fifth place alongside Rusa there, another strong performance. I know she had big GC ambitions to be on the podium, but I still think running a top 5 right now in the GC is a really solid result. And we still have one stage to go, which I think it's going to be interesting because there is 22 seconds in it for Rusa to try and reclaim that jersey. But I just don't see how that time is going to get pulled back now with the stage that we've seen tomorrow. And with just so many teams, to my point yesterday, that will be hunting a stage win. I mean, UAE will also be wanting a stage win, but I think at this point, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Esra, the pink jersey is probably going to be the most important thing to defend tomorrow. And best situation is just, a nice group going up the road that doesn't have any big threats, and they have maybe perhaps some representation there themselves.
Pink jersey is always like the leader jersey is always like more important than stages. So yeah, they will definitely defend that. And I think also Elisa Longo Borghini has a really, really strong team around her, especially we saw it today as well with Persico. Elisa and Persico will be on the wheel of Marlon tomorrow. And if she puts her butt up, then like in 1 second she's there to catch her. So yeah, it will be really hard for Marlon to catch back the pink jersey. You never know, anything can happen, but like how Elisa is riding the whole week already, I think she is always in the top 10. So she is really on it and didn't have the stage win. I think she was like she's a little bit disappointed about that, but in the end, if you have the overall, then yeah, come on. Perfect.
She can keep her pink car.
Yeah.
I think for tomorrow, the GC is definitely going to be the most important, but there's still a lot of teams that have nothing from this race, and I think tomorrow is going to be totally insane. Like with how the Giro has gone so far, there will be a lot of tired legs, that's for sure. But there's also a lot of teams that they'll have a lot of pressure on them at the moment to bring something home from this Giro. And it's not out of the question that we have like a to race day, and they let like the stage win go up the road, and it's kind of a focus on the pink jersey behind. And I do think that you're right, Ezra, that Longo Borghini is going to really want a stage victory, but I also think that there's only so much that they can control, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It will be chaos from the start. Everybody wants to be in the break, I think, for tomorrow. And then it will be a really hard final with the 2 laps around Imola to get the stage win. A lot of teams are without a win yet. So, yeah, it will be a hard battle for tomorrow.
Maybe we see something from Anna van der Breggen too, because she won the World Championships on this course. And she was dropped earlier on in the climb today and lost her GC placing. And I don't know if she's going to want to try to get that back. She said in the beginning that she didn't have interest in the GC, which, you know, you can take with a grain of salt. But a stage win would be something that she would be really, really happy about. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her on the attack tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Or they go for, Lorena Wiebes again. I don't know if she can survive that hop. And of course, she suffered a lot today. Also doing a lot of chasing. It's actually really impressive for a sprinter type. But she can, so let's see if she's recovered for tomorrow. And if they go and hunt a stage win with her again.
Also, who can recover better after the effort that they had to do today? Longo Borghini or Reusser?
Oh.
Yeah, a good question.
I feel, Longo Borghini is just good at this, isn't she?
Yeah, but Reusser was in the wheels for a lot longer.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I think they're pretty equal. Yeah, it will be fun. I'm curious also if Little Track race is aggressive tomorrow again. I think this is a really good stage also for Anna Henderson again. She tasted the victory in the Giro, so yeah, maybe she goes off again. Let's see.
Oh, that'd be awesome. And I don't think, Isabella Holmgren is 7th overall at the moment, and she's 47 seconds off of the youth classification, which I don't think is realistic for her to get tomorrow. So I don't think they're going to be too concerned about 7th in GC. For them, I think that they're just going to throw everything that they can at the race tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, let's wrap up this episode with 2 audio diaries. We've got Josie Talbot of Liv AlUla Jayco and Becky Storrie of Picnic PostNL, and we will be back tomorrow to talk about the final stage. Ezra, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on the podcast with us this week.
Thank you for having me.
It was really cool to get another voice, another perspective.
Yeah, I don't know. Have we had a team manager on before?
I don't think so. We've had a DS on before, but we've never had a team, like someone who
big boss. There you go.
I don't like that title.
All right. See you guys later.
Hey, Escape Collective, Josie Talbot from Liv AlUla Jayco back. Just finished stage 7, which was the Queen stage here at the Giro, 3,600 metres of elevation and 150k or so. So brutal day out, really. Our little Dutchie Silka managed to climb away to 13th on the stage, which, great effort by her. The day started out with some attacking. It was my job to try and maybe get in the EB, but it's been a challenge all week to sort of get into that EB. A lot of teams were motivated to obviously get up the road and get ahead of the race. So, it didn't end up happening. So we went into, just protect Silka mode. So she had 3 bodyguards around her, myself, Amber, and Quinty, and Monica also. So, we're just trying to look after her, make her ride as easy as possible. But it was brutal out there, pretty warm, up and down all day. So it was very important to stay hydrated and get the food in. Nothing really to put on my end. I think I got hooped on the 3rd to last climb, and then rode in with a nice bunch up to the top of the hill. Now we're back in Riccione, I think is how you say it, or in Australia, Riccione. We're staying on the beach. It's a bit of a party town actually, so a lot on the weekend, but really not a bad hotel. Got working aircon, which is great in the Italian heat. I might just go down for an evening walk along the beach, maybe dip my toes in the water down here.
Stage 7 of the Giro complete, arguably the hardest day. Today I was in the gruppetto with one of my teammates, Francesca Borali, and I thought I'd just share something with you that she told me that made me laugh. It's just in moments like today when you're constantly suffering, you're going up, down, then more up, then down. And she said that she was thinking to herself, almost like, what are we doing? What is this sport? We're climbing up this 15-kilometer hill with a bunch of other girls, some who we know, some who we don't know, all just suffering. What are we doing? It's actually really random when you think about it. When she said it, it made me laugh. And I wonder if anyone else has ever thought about that. But also, that's kind of special that we share those moments together. So we got through it, girls. A really, really tough day. One more tough day to go. But it's going to be an iconic one. So we're looking forward to it.
This episode was produced, edited, and mixed by Will Jones at Red Bricks Media.